Some traditions will never change, no matter how much time passes. The way in which military honors are rendered at funerals remains constant, because the United States deeply respects its military members, and the public has such high regard for the men and women in the armed forces. These lasting traditions and ceremonies must be uncompromising, while rendering the proper amount of respect and honor. The United States Air Force Honor Guard, stationed at Bolling Air Force Base in Washington, D.C., is a 230-member unit of hand-picked men and women who have chosen to serve in the Air Force's elite ceremonial unit. Only a chosen few can maintain the rigorous standards set forth by the management of the Honor Guard. The Honor Guard's primary mission is to render military honors at Arlington National Cemetery and surrounding cemeteries. But the Honor Guard does so much more. They march in parades, serve as the Air Force's ambassador in blue, and represent all Air Force airmen, past and present, to the public around the world. The training is not easy. The demanding 8-week technical school is designed to ensure that an airman can meet the physical and mental standards of a ceremonial guardsman. There are 3 elements within the Guard that serve different functions. The pallbearer team's primary duties include carrying the casket to the chapel and to the gravesite, as well as folding the flag in its distinctive triangular fold. The color guard team carries and protects the U.S. and Air Force flag at ceremonies needing their service. Finally, the firing party team fires 3 volleys of 7 weapons, making a 21-gun volley. Outside of the 3 primary elements, the Honor Guard also has a drill team made up of the Guard's most elite members. They perform all over the country and the world, where they represent the precision and excellence of the United States Air Force. The entire Guard proves that teamwork is always evident in our military, but particularly in the drill team, because of their execution of the drill routines. The training flight is where aspiring guardsmen are evaluated to see if they have what it takes to be in the Honor Guard. Here, they are trained in weapon movements, marching, and the bearing required as a guard. From the earliest hours of the day, the drill instructors make sure that they are teaching the trainees what they need to succeed as a ceremonial guardsman. Throughout the day, weapon and marching movements are repeated hundreds of times to ensure that the trainees are executing the proper movements in sync with their fellow guardsmen. Although physical fitness is stressed during training flight, each trainee's mental resilience is constantly evaluated as well.
Being a member of training flight, training the students, our goal is to make sure that they're not only technically sound, but they're exceeding the expectation, exceeding excellence. A lead is the attitude they need to carry. The mission is far more important than just getting a task done or moving day to day. It looks past that, and that's an important feature that they're going to find throughout their career in the Air Force.
A lot of these airmen have no idea what they're getting into. They come in here thinking they're just going to be taking tests or throwing a rifle around, but they really need to get a lot more in depth with their precision and the rifle movements. So we really spend a lot of time evaluating them and checking out what they can do.
At the end of the day, our goal isn't to just meet standards as we talked about earlier. It's for them to exceed goals and really cultivate their entire experience here into one, which is, being excellent at what they do. Our goal is not to just, prime and make an amazing ceremonial guardsman, although that is a part of the standard. Our goal is to make sure that they're ultimately effective members of the United States Air Force, and they're great people outside duty. They're really going to reflect their core values, and excellence in all we do, service for self, and integrity first.
I've been in the Guard for 2 years now, and I can honestly say it's one of the most memorable, most amazing, most honorable jobs I can think of in the Air Force. I can't imagine doing anything that means more to more people. We are, as guardsmen, the rock for the family. We are representing the Air Force to the family. Sometimes we are the family. We are the only family there at the funeral. In some cases, that makes it difficult for our guardsmen. The average age of the Guard is 20, 21, 22 years old. When I was that age, I had no thoughts of mortality. I was invincible. I was a young Air Force pilot. The world was mine, and I never thought about death. So to come here and to be around death every day, it's a challenge that takes a very special sort of individual, someone that that can internalize appropriately, but also compartmentalize. And it's a very fine line. It takes someone that's very strong spiritually, that's very strong mentally, that has that toughness to be able to be there, to maintain that standard of being a rock and not break for that family, to show them that the Air Force will be there for them forever, that they are not done with the Air Force. It's a challenge to get our guardsmen to think that way, but it's amazing how the very first time we bring them out here and have them just watch their first funeral, they feel it. You can't step into Arlington without feeling this overwhelming sense of grief along with this overwhelming peace that comes with it. It's the most peaceful place on earth to me.
Each pallbearer team is comprised of 6 to 8 members. The bearers must train to maintain uniform movement as a team throughout every carry. Their strength as individuals translates directly to the strength of the team. They do not know how much a casket will weigh the moment it is removed for the ceremony. Yet they must be prepared to carry up to a 1,000-pound casket completely level, no matter the terrain or distance to gravesite. As the closest members of the Guard to the grieving family, the bearers must maintain impeccable bearing, for they represent the solid rock of the Air Force to the pained family members. Oftentimes, the bearers are the only family members present. However, this does not stop them from performing each movement and honor perfectly, for they are the fallen members' family.
In 2009, I was deployed to Bagram Air Force Base, Afghanistan, and during my time there, I got to participate in several fallen comrade ceremonies. That was what my first introduction to the Honor Guard was like. And when I came back from Afghanistan, I wanted to be a ceremonial guardsman. I put in my package, and I actually had to wait 3 years to become a ceremonial guardsman. But I'm glad I put in that time and waited, because this is the best job that I've been able to participate in since I've joined the Air Force. And I absolutely love my job.
As a member of the body bearer element, it means a lot that we get a chance to fold that flag. Every single time, whenever that person receives it, they're either crying or they're happy that they're actually getting a chance to receive something to remember that person. A lot of times, whenever they come home, they have it on a shelf, and it just means the world that they have something that they can look back on for that person. The ceremony hasn't changed in hundreds of years, and it's not going to change. The ceremony means a lot. Some things are meant not to change. At this point at the gravesite, the words that we say are, on behalf of the President of the United States Air Force, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
The Color Guard team is made up of 4 members. This team is comprised of the U.S. and the Air Force flag and 2 guards protecting the colors of the United States. The Air Force flag has streamers that signify every battle the Air Force has been engaged in. Widely considered the ceremonial experts of the Honor Guard, the Colors team members have a role in virtually every ceremony that the Honor Guard provides support to. The training to become a fully qualified Colors troop is one of the most difficult in the Honor Guard. Not only must the Guardsmen perfect their own movements, they must also be prepared to talk through and fix every other role being performed by the Guard.
There are some people that will say being on colors is the easiest element in the Honor Guard. All of us here would beg to differ. With a 4-foot by 6-foot double-stitched flag and over 130 streamers on our flag, which represents every battle the Air Force has ever been in, that's about the equivalent of holding out 40 pounds at a 45-degree angle for as long as 12 minutes at a time. We train hard for it. We have a lot of really awesome jobs that we do. A lot of the stuff we do is very high visibility and very exciting stuff.
Firing party is comprised of 7 members and 1 non-commissioned officer in charge. The firing party's motto is 7 as 1, which means that they strive to fire 7 weapons at one time with just one distinct sound. They practice for many hours to ensure that the rounds fired sound as one. This is one element where the practice can be seen and heard. Unlike other services, the Air Force Honor Guard uses a silent cadence. In other words, the lead firing party member makes just a ready call to initiate movement. But the rest of the sequence is completely with a cadence learned through countless hours of training for muscle memory. The firing of 3 volleys, each one sounding like one distinct shot, is just one more way that the Guard honors fallen airmen. Immediately following the firing sequence, taps is sounded and the flag is folded. The flag is then presented to the family as a keepsake for the family.
Our mission in Firing Party is to render military honors to a fallen airman for the family. And from the time the first shot is fired, you can immediately tell that it evokes a lot of emotion in the family. It's our objective to make sure that all 3 volleys sound like separate, one distinct shot. And it's not only our mission and our objective, but it's our personal way of rendering honors for that fallen hero. Stand by.
Going hard! Hiring party! Hatch! Head! Head up! Face! Head up! Head up!
The Air Force drill team is a unit that takes a special individual to be a part of. Because of the rigorous standards needed for proper execution of the drill movements, drill team members generally spend 8 to 10 hours practicing their drills. The team consists of 20 members, each one required to perform a solo drill to perfection in front of the entire Honor Guard before earning their drill team ascot. It then takes an additional 8 weeks of training for the member to actually be prepared to perform in the drill box. Using a fully functioning 12-pound M1 Garand rifle, the drill team box consists of routines utilizing either 4 or 12 members. The drill team travels all over the world, impressing the audience with their precision and excellence. Handpicked to serve as a member of the United States Air Force Honor Guard, Guardsmen's standards of conduct and levels of professionalism must be above reproach, for they represent all others in their service. They do not allow their performance to be dictated by the type of ceremony, severity of the temperature, or size of the crowd. They remain superbly conditioned to perfect all movements throughout every drill and ceremony. They are constantly driven to excel by a deep devotion to duty and a strong sense of dedication. Finally, because they represent every member past and present of the United States Air Force, they vow to stand sharp, crisp, and motionless, for they are a ceremonial guardsman. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along, and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long delirious burning blue. I've topped the wind-swept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.